activism begins with ACT. The Russ Belville Show features the stories of hardworking grassroots activists working for an end to prohibition in today's activist agenda.
Welcome back, everyone. Joining us here at the desk at Roll the J Studios, we've got Alex Rogers from the Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference. Hi, Alex.
Hey, Russ. How you doing, man?
I'm fantastic. And on the other side that you can't see is Anthony Johnson hanging out on that mic. How you doing, Anthony?
Hey, doing great. Thanks for having us.
Great, thank you. We'll have Anthony in just a second. We'll talk to Alex first because, first of all, I want to congratulate you on what was an incredible International Cannabis Business Conference in San Francisco.
Thank you. You know, it was incredible, and you always kind of have before you do an event, you kind of envision how it's going to go down, how you'll be received, and rarely is it congruent to what you originally thought. And this one exceeded all of our expectations, so I couldn't be happier.
Yeah, it was an amazing event. Everyone I talked to said they were really thrilled about the event and learned a ton of great stuff. Steve D'Angelo was there. Rick Steves gave a speech. We had Dr. Carl Hart, who's a rock star, and he was just wonderful. And now the next conference you've got, and you just finished a conference, and now you're doing another conference because you didn't have enough to do, right?
Right.
Coming up March 15th and 16th, it's the Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference. Give us the sketch on this one. What's happening with this conference?
Yeah, well, you know, this will be the third Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference, and the reason we did it was because of the timing. So, and there wasn't too much crossover with the San Francisco event, so a little bit, but not too much. And you will see, we will have some of the same attendees, but basically we wanted to keep it going. And you know, as we legalized, Russ, we thought we were going to call it now the Oregon Cannabis Business Conference.
Yeah.
But we decided not to do that because we kept it the Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference because we wanted to make sure that people don't forget about medical marijuana and, you know, the fact that those laws are, well, you know, originally when I was working with Jack Hare 20 years ago, we said, no medical marijuana, let's just go for rec. Well, now those same people, like Jack, rest in peace, are saying, well, keep medical until rec comes close to what medical does.
Right.
So we wanted to make it also somewhat of a referendum on saving or just keeping the OMP intact exactly like it is. We could talk about changing it, but let them get that daunting task of figuring out rules and recs first. And so we're kind of making it a referendum on that, and then keeping the rules and recs real simple too, and not everyone getting too excited or complicating things too much. But the conference itself is going to be amazing, and it caters to everybody. In that we've got Governor Gary Johnson keynoting. Amazing libertarian candidate for president. I think he got like 1.2 million votes in 2012. I know a lot of people that actually voted for him. And then we have Steve D'Angelo on the second day keynoting, and he knocked it out of the box with the interview with Steve Bloom at the ICBC. And we're really excited to have him back also. And what we're also doing, which is really important, is we're going right into what does it mean to be a producer? What does it mean to be a processor? What does it mean to be a dispensary? Okay, we are talking about what that means under rec auspices and what that means under medical auspices, and kind of what's the tenor in the legislature right now, and what folks can expect in terms of those administrative procedures.
Yeah, it's a complex situation right now. We've got medical marijuana businesses. We are about to have recreational marijuana businesses, but those don't kick off until 2016. Even just the licensing doesn't even start off till 2016, if I'm not mistaken.
That's right.
So it's going to be a while after that before we're actually selling the first buds.
That's right, and that's why we're saying don't mess with medical. I mean, it's the cardinal rule. Look at Washington. And then you have to look at California's chances. If California is going to legalize, they've got to know that their medical isn't going to be immediately
ransacked.
Yes, ransacked. You know, it's got to be a smart, slow procedure, and rec has to play itself out. And so, if Oregon messes with their medical marijuana program too drastically, then it really will hurt the legalization chances of California. And I feel that it resonates. Oregon's public policy decisions on medical marijuana will resonate throughout the world, actually.
Absolutely. And this is where I'd like to bring Anthony Johnson in on this, because there's been a lot of political controversy over this, just owing to the fact that, you know, Measure 91 said 3 times will not affect Oregon medical marijuana program. And a lot of people put their faith into that. And the first thing we hear out of the legislature is, well, let's just scrap the medical marijuana program. What are the plans here to keep this on track?
You know, I think a vast majority of advocates, including New Approach Oregon, but Compassion Oregon and Oregon Sun-Grown Growers Guild, all kinds of activists and organizations in Oregon want to ensure that the medical marijuana program stays. And so we are really united mostly across the state of Oregon to remind legislators, the will of the voters, the fact that over 56% of voters, more than 100,000 that cast votes for our former governor, and more than 50,000 than incumbent U.S. senator, voted on a measure that stated the medical marijuana program would remain separate from the OLCC. And that will, so just need to remind the will of the voters. Also, just a practical aspect of having to implement the Measure 91 rules and regulations. There's really no reason to complicate things and take on things that are divisive and just add more work. There's a lot of work to be done. Let's handle the basics of the licensing, child-proofing, marketing of marijuana for adults over the age of 21, and then we can tackle issues as they come about, and let's just implement the will of the voters first and foremost. You know,
you mentioned the fact that we have a former governor, Kitzhaber, is out, and Kate Brown, the former Secretary of State, is in. How does that augur for things that are happening? I know Kitzhaber had these principles that had to be upheld. Wasn't Kate Brown given any signals?
Kate Brown has not yet. You know, she's definitely had her hands full transitioning into office. But if you look at her history, her past history is much better than Governor Kitzhaber. Yeah. Kitzhaber signed into law the recriminalization of an ounce of marijuana that passed out of the 1997 legislature. Kate Brown opposed that, and she endorsed the people's effort to have a referendum on the legislature the following year.
Which I actually got 1,000 signatures for. A little known fact.
Oh, really? Oh, fantastic. Yeah. So there was, of course, everyone knows Oregon was the first to decriminalize in '73. Kitzhaber was behind kind of this anti-pot wave that in '97 in the legislature recriminalized marijuana, and then in '98, at the same time we were passing medical, we were also beating down. I think it was like a 2/3 margin too, like a huge vote.
Huge.
We beat down that recriminalization.
Yeah, recriminalization got more votes than medical, and I believe, or defeating recriminalization, and I believe it actually carried every county.
The referendum.
The referendum, that's right.
And so based upon her past history, you know, we definitely need to remain vigilant and remind our new governor about the will of the voters. However, it looks like we've gone from an opponent of legalization of marijuana to at least someone who's neutral. And so I think that the cannabis community in Oregon has upgraded with our recent change in governor.
All right. We're speaking with Anthony Johnson from New Approach Oregon. He was also the chief petitioner for Measure 91 here in the state of Oregon, which passed with the greatest support of any state legalization measure. We've also got Alex Rogers here from the Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference. That's taking place on March 15th and 16th. That's another Sunday, Monday. Am I correct?
Yes, Sunday, Monday at the downtown Hilton in Eugene. It's going to be off the hook, Russ.
All right. And I know with these last few events that we've done, we've also had some VIP things. Rocker T has performed. Del the Funky Homo Sapiens performed. What do we got for after hours?
We actually have a VIP Saturday evening. We have a separate ticketed event for $150. The VIP with Steve D'Angelo, and almost every other speaker at the event's going to be there also. I know you and Anthony are going to be there also, so we're looking forward to that. But Del the Funky Homo Sapien is performing at Cosmic Pizza on the night of the 15th. So he's a legendary West Coast rapper, and that is actually a free event for anybody who purchases a ticket to the OMMBC.
I will endorse that highly. Of course, I endorse everything highly, but I tell you, usually when I see oh, they're setting up a DJ and a guy's going to rap. Yippee, right? I'm not usually very thrilled with that. Del is so musical.
Yeah.
He is such a great performer that, even a curmudgeon like me loved it.
Exactly, and that's why I've known Del for a long time now, over 20 years now, and I've been doing shows with Hieroglyphics and Del for many years, and I used to produce a lot of hip hop shows, and I was a rapper myself, and I decided to strictly do Hyro shows for a few different reasons. I love their messaging. No B words or N words coming out like crazy. And,
right.
It's real intellectual.
Not so misogynistic.
No, it's not.
Either.
It's not at all. And so it's what we call native tongue. It was a term that's coined back in the early '90s. And his performance is amazing. He's taken on the P-Funk legacy and he's brought it to hip hop. And you can really see that he really is the funky Homo sapien, and personified. And he's I don't know. I really think he is one of the best hip hop performers on the earth today.
Make sure you get on to ommbc.com because there's early bird pricing going on, and these things sell out. Have you not sold out one of these yet?
Yeah, well, we didn't sell out Portland because we did it at the Portland ballroom that fit like 2,000 people. So but this one has a good chance of selling out, and we're on the trajectory to do so right now. So tickets are only $2.99, which is a heck of a deal. The international ones are almost twice that much, $2.99 until March 6th, and then they go up midnight March 6th to $3.49, and then they'll be $400 at the door.
Yeah, and sometimes I know people see these tickets like, oh my God, hundreds of dollars. But look, first of all, unlike a lot of the events that I've had to I shouldn't say had to cover, that I've covered, are events where there's a main speaker and then there's all these little breakout things, and you always feel like you're paying for more rooms than you never got to see. Not this one. This is all this one thing.
Yes, and in fact, that's what inspired me to do these conferences. Is I had been to a few conferences also, and I just thought it was kind of all fluff. The networking is always good, seeing your old school homies or whatever, but the information was just fluffy. And the whole, and I've been an event producer for years. I actually produced the Cannabis Cup for 5 years. I ran the Milkfeg Concert House for the Cannabis Cup, amongst a million other things I've done. But I know how to do an event, and I know how to make it so we can focus the energy. We're not an expo at the OMMBC. We do have exhibitors, but it's limited to however many 6-foot tables can fit in this certain small area. And so it's just an accoutrement to the event. What we do is we have information, and we have a one track, and then we don't have multiple tracks or breakouts because we like focusing that energy. We like focusing the crowd and the networking, and then because we only have one track, it's incumbent upon us to make it the dopest track ever, and that's what we do. You go to the website and folks can check it out, but it's no joke. What we're here to do is give people real information that they can take with you. It's not a get-rich-quick conference. It's not an invest in the cannabis, how to invest or none of that. It's, hey, if you're a mom and pop business or you're another business that's an ancillary business that wants to get into this field, what do you need to know? And so there's a strong undercurrent of advocacy that we teach because we think you need to know the politics and the culture and the advocacy aspect of what's going on here to aid to your business. And then we get right down and dirty to what's going on in terms of how can you succeed in business and what are some of the things you need to know right now in terms of the rapidity of the changing laws.
Yeah, and that's an aspect I appreciate of this, having come from the activism side of this, is to see people in the business side advocating to give back to the advocacy that actually created that business. So many of these green rush type conferences, it's all about how quick can we make the money.
That's right.
And they don't pay attention to the proper respect to the past.
That's right. The Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference is Oregon for Oregonians, and it's plain and simple. We're a progressive state. We have a libertarian streak in our state. And we just we adhere to those precepts and let that kind of overflow into our not only political philosophies but business philosophies. And what we want to do is we want to see small businesses grow and thrive. And we want to see the average Oregonian be able to put a few extra bucks in their pocket, and actually maybe even a few more if they're ready to work for it. And so that's the type of stuff that we're teaching and that we prescribe to.
Looking forward to it. Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference. We'll bring you damn near live coverage. We'll have little 5-minute clips here and there so you can see what's happening. But if you want the full meal deal, get online to ommbc.com right now. Keynote with Governor Gary Johnson on the first day. Tom Burns from the Oregon Health Authority will be there. We've got Senator Floyd Przansky, one of the state leading legislators in this area. Anthony Johnson's going to be speaking there. We've got a media panel that some guy in a hat and some sunglasses is on.
And we actually just booked Noel Crombie for that media panel yesterday.
Good to hear. And on day 2, you got Stevie D'Angelo. You got producer information on extracts, retailing, testing, and entrepreneurship. It's all happening at the Oregon Medical Marijuana Business Conference. Check out ommbc.com. That's all the time we got for hour 1, but stay tuned. Hour 2, we'll talk to these guys a little bit more if they're willing to hang out, and we'll bring you more news and views you can use for the cannabis community. For Anthony Johnson and Alex Rogers, I'm Radical Russ. Thanks for joining us. Until next time, take care of each other, tokers.
This is the Russ Belville Show. The Russ Belville Show is blogging and podcasting daily at radicalruss.com.
You take a seed, you plant it, you grow it, you dry it, you